Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3. I hope everybody can hear me. I'm going to go live right now. I am live. First time live. Let's do this. Going to go through Donald Trump's 1040. It's his personal tax return for 2020. This information is available on the public website, Presidential Tax Returns, taxnotes.com. I will post that in case anybody wants right here in the chat. I'm able to. All right. Without further ado, I'm going to share my screen with you. Let's see if this works. Window, Chrome tab, PDF. Okay, no, that's not what I want to share. Let me share something else. I'm trying to share the PDF, and that's too small right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my window. Not the tab, but the window of Trump 2020 1040. That should be it right there. All right, here we go. We're rocking. So I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. If I were looking at somebody's tax return for the first time, what I would be looking for. I hope this is audible. I wonder how I can check that. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Okay, it looks like something is recording my voice. Give me 1 second to make sure. I'm going to check my audio. Let's see. Sound. Manage input sound devices. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit louder. Input device. Okay, hopefully it's not too loud or muffled. Here we go. Going to continue. So 1040, just looking at the numbers. We see right here wages and salary, right? So he had $393,000 in W-2, it appears. Interest, taxable interest. He has taxable interest of $10 million plus. So that means he has interest income. Perhaps he's lent people money, or perhaps it's interest from a bank, different sources. Dividends, $25,000, and pension of $86,532, more or less, taxable amounts. Now, this is what is interesting over here. This we have. So as of this point right now, these are all of his income items. So he's got over $10 million, close to $11 million in income items. Now, typically you would see here on line number 8, other income. And then total income added together. But you see right here, this negative $15 million. This is where I'm going to focus on. Schedule 1. So that's going to include a lot of different items inside of there. He has his total income. This is just a high-level summary. The total income is going to be the net of all of these, negative 4.7. And then so there's an adjustment over here from schedule 1 as well. That's probably his self-employment, one half of his self-employment tax. And then that is high level. Schedule A, $915,000. Now, you see right here, his taxable income is 0. Now, why is his taxable income 0? Because he has a negative AGI, right? His adjusted gross income is negative, almost negative $5 million. So he doesn't have any income that's taxable. You take this negative $5 million, you would theoretically subtract $915,000 because that's a deduction for him, a standard deduction. Maybe there's some room over here for some additional tax planning. But here is the taxable income is 0. This is key. If you don't have any taxable income, you're not going to pay any taxes. But going to the next page, before we drill down to that negative $15 million, you see his tax is going to be 0. However, here you see self-employment tax of $271,973. And then you see on his W-2, he paid already $83,916 in W-2 taxes, $1,733 from some other foreign taxes, possibly 1099s. And that takes the total taxes paid of $85,649. Credits over here, he has a Schedule 3, 19,000. So there's a lot of numbers over here. I'm just going to take you down to the bottom line. He did pay estimated taxes or taxes applied from his 2019 return of $13.6 million. Now, so his total payments included the 19,397 and the payments he made was 13.7 million. And this means that he overpaid by 13.468 million because this is how much he would have owed self-employment taxes, and this is how much he actually paid. So you take how much he actually paid, and so that is, so he overpaid by this amount. So if he overpaid by this amount, and he's actually only taking a refund of 5.5. So he's leaving $10 million in there, which is interesting. That amount of line 34 that you want refunded to you. So he overpaid by 13.5 million, but he is getting this much back. So, fine. Now, what I want to see over here is this negative $15 million, right? This is what is giving him the zero. This is completely eliminating any tax liability. This is going to be from Schedule 1, line 9. I'm going to scroll down here to Schedule 1. Your Schedule 1 right here. You can see this negative $15 million. I'm only going to focus on the big numbers now. So negative $15 million is going to come from attached Schedule E, right? So rental, real estate, royalties, partnerships, blah, blah, blah. Attach Schedule E. So now I'm going to look for the Schedule E. Let's see if we can find that. Schedule 2, Schedule 3, Schedule A. This is a Schedule A. Let's see. Schedule SE, Schedule C. Of relatively small amounts. Lots of Schedule C's inside of there. Aviation. Interesting. He has a business, an aviation business with zero activity, very little activity. Okay. Oh, you know what? It has to do probably with his airplane. I thought maybe he was training to be a pilot. This is also aviation, gross receipts. Okay, maybe he rents out his plane. Another Schedule C. Lots of Schedule C's. Lots of aviation Schedule C's. Melania Trump. She made a little bit of money there. So I'm going to look for his Schedule E. Where is that? Schedule E. I would typically do a search, but because this is, here we are. Let's see what we can find out here. Royalties. So there's no physical address. These are royalties. Now this is going to be one Schedule E. There's likely going to be multiple Schedule E's, but book writer fee. Okay, so he wrote some books, apparently. Royalties received and paid some money for it, and some expenses, and had some net income from it. Great. Now here is where it's going to be interesting. You see this $11 million? This is the negative 15 right here that we were looking for. Oops, what I'm trying to do. Now, passive income from Schedule K1. So he has $54 million in passive income and non-passive income from Schedule K1. So he has some K1s with some non-passive income. So what's happening here? We have add columns H and K. H and K. So you have 54 plus the $11 million, right? That gives us a $66 million of both passive and non-passive. Then you're going to add columns G, I, and J. G, I, and J, which right here is going to be the 53. Where do these numbers come from? Passive loss allowed. Right? So there's a passive, so yes, passive income, but there's a passive loss of $53 million over here. So why this might be a carry forward of a loss, because you have passive loss and you have passive income. These are going to be opposites, right? So you have income of this amount, both passive and non-passive, and you're going to have passive loss allowed and non-passive loss allowed. So these are going to be losses. This number is going to be the losses. You're adding them together. This number is going to be the income. And then you have $15 million, negative 15 million over here. That is a loss that he is able to take. Now, why is he able to take the entire 15 million on his tax return? Because this is a passive. This is passive. I mean, it's a combination. It looks like it's a combination. You have, because 65 million includes both the passive and the non-passive income, and the 81 million, negative 81 million, includes the passive loss and the non-passive loss. So this is a combination of both the passive and non-passive net income. So why is the entire negative $15 million? So it's probably going to have to do with Form 8582. And I'm really curious about this passive loss allowed. Why is he allowed a passive loss of $53.8 million? So I want to look at the 8582. But before we jump over there, this is where that 15 million is going to be coming from. So we actually can scroll down here. 15.676. There's a small adjustment, which is likely from a line above it. Maybe the $100,000, 89,039. If we do that quick math just to confirm, 15,765, 508 plus, oh, excuse me, yeah, we'll subtract it here because we're working with negatives, minus the 89, minus the 89,039 is going to give us the 15,676. Yeah, 469. So that's what that is. That includes the Schedule E, the royalties up there. Now, but what's happening, right? Total income. Now you're going to add this into the result here, and on Schedule 1, line 5. That's when we go back to the Schedule 1, line 5. So this is 350 pages long. So we're gonna narrow this and focus. But that's where we see that negative 15 million come over there. Now, what I'm going to look for right now is going to be this Form 8582 to see how Donald Trump is able to get passive losses allowed of this. This number right here is really what is driving, is the main number that's driving both my interest, because passive losses typically are not allowed to be netted against active income. But actually here, because he has passive income, these two can net against each other. And then really you're going to only have this non-passive income and a non-passive loss. So he has a non-passive loss of $28 million. And if we look at the difference between these two, it's going to be very close to the 15 million. 27,953,754 minus 11,746,277. That's $16 million. The difference over here is $16 million. So without even looking at the passive losses, which offsets his passive income, I'm really curious, where does he get these losses from? Why is he losing $53.8 million? Is he losing $28 million? That's fascinating. I don't think he is. It's likely going to have to do with depreciation, right? So it's a paper loss. But so that's on the passive side. Now, maybe he's also active in his real estate. Let's see. That's Schedule K1. Let's go to Form 8582 if we can find that relatively simply over here. 8582. Look at all these entities, EINs. I thought EINs were private information. Woo, pages and pages. Let's go to Form 8582. know what these pages are. What are they doing here? Passive loss allowed. Oh, this is where things are getting calculated. I think this might be the form I was looking for. Passive loss allowed 85. Yeah, these are the backup passive income. Yeah, these are all the backups, right? So if you add all these things together, passive loss allowed, attached form 85, 82, passive income, these are going to be the details, the breakdown. And then if you look over here, see, this should really A. So for A, this is going to be coming from, well, let's see if it's an easier way to do it. Let's say we look at P, right? Or T. Oh, P. So P right here, this, these are partnerships and S corporations. This right here is likely going to be all of these combined. Let's see if we can make heads and tails of this. There's a bunch of N's, more P's over here. That's odd. So not 100% sure how these pages tie into the other page, but leaving that aside, which I don't think is critical right now, essentially all of these, yeah, here we go. These are all the M's. So they're not summarized into one line over here. You have J. So let's say we have okay, A right here, we have a passive loss allowed of 12,927. That's the very first A. Now, if we scroll up here to A, that is most likely going to be coming from this right here. So the East 61st Street Company, which is a partnership, is going to be providing Donald J. Trump with a passive loss right here, with a passive loss allowed of 85 of 12,927. So what do we want to figure out over here? We were looking for let's orient myself again. That was page 56, which we can jump back to quickly. We want to find out how he has a non-passive, two things, right? I'm going to take a quick screenshot of this so I can reference it. This is on page 42. All right. So his non-passive loss of 27,953. So those are coming from, what he said, page 52, we said? So going down here, let's see if we get a summary again at the bottom after all of these. Schedule H. Okay, they're not summarizing it again, it looks like. But if we were to look at the non-passive loss allowed, see Schedule K1. From Schedule K1, this whole column right here would give us the $27 million. So where is he getting a non-passive loss from? A significant non-passive loss, because we have almost $28 million in non-passive losses. And so far, I don't see much inside of this column. So it's probably more towards the top. Here, $8 million right here. 8 million, 8.4 million. That's significant. That's F. But how do we know which F this relates to? How do we know which F this relates to? Let's make a couple notes over here. I can reference it. A little screenshot here. Okay. So if we can, $8 million. What was that? Another $8 million looks like. E. So where is he getting these non-passive losses from? Schedule K1. So there's going to be some K1s up there. $9 million in X. Okay, this might be an easier one to figure out where this relates to because there's only one X. And this is a big number too. So $9.5 million. Let's see where it's coming from. XXX. Let's see. Bunch of J's. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. The Trump Corporation. Dun, 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 dun. So he gets the Trump Corporation, right? So where's he getting this? That is a non-passive loss, which makes sense. But what does this Trump Corporation do? Anybody know? What we can do is actually go to Trump Corporation is an S corporation. So that is actually driving. But why does he have a loss? So what I'm going to do is stop sharing for a second. I'm going to go get another tax return from that site that I just posted. Here we go. I'm going to look for the Trump Corporation. Now, I'm going to share my screen, what I'm looking at over here. So this right here, right? These are all the presidential tax returns. Different time, maybe if anybody wants to, we can look at Vivek Ramaswamy. That might be interesting also. All these folks. You can also look by different presidents, previous presidents, probably. Okay. So over here, we're looking for what now? The Trump Corporation, right? Now, this might not be his. I'm pretty sure it's his. Which one of these might be his? DTTM, DJT, holding managing member. These are all the different entities. I wonder if this is the one. You know, maybe we won't do this right now. I'll have to at least find the ordinary business income. So DTTM Operations LLC. That's showing a $758,000 loss. So he has an operations, which is investment in real estate, but that's a different EIN, right? So we have to find that correct EIN. EIN. The EIN we're looking for is $13,303,8887. Sometimes EIN lookup 13,303,8887. It's called Donald Trump Corporation. The Trump Corporation. It's an S corporation. That means he receives a K1. So I'm not seeing his tax return or that tax return over here. But you know what? I'm just going to check every single one of these really quickly just to see if one of them happens to have that EIN. But essentially, that is what. So an operating company, right? The Trump Corporation, whatever it does, yeah, it's pretty important to know. see if I can find it out of it. It's a limited number. Nope, not that one. So holding managing member, let's see if it's this one. Let's look at this one too. Just click on them all right now. Acquisition. So there's obviously, you look here, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 entities, whereas on his tax return, we see a lot more than 7 over here, right? If you look at the EINs, then there's a lot more than 7. So that means that we do not have access to all of his tax returns. That's what I'm saying over here. But on the chance that maybe we do have the one that I'm looking for, nope, it's not LFB acquisitions. It's not DJT Holdings managing member. It's not LFB acquisition member corp, because the EIN is different. So perhaps it's not the DTTM operations manager member managing member corp. So it looks like we might have to suffice for not seeing the detail, but let's just look at one of his DJT Holdings. This is a DJT Holdings LLC, has an EIN of 27416. Right? He has 27416 2256. This might be it. 2256. I'm going to have to share my other page with you because I don't think. No, it's 416 2308. 2308 416. Here we go. Excuse me, I'm sharing the wrong page. So this right here, where did it go? 30, nope. 2308. Oh, you can see both pages. Great. Both PDF pages. 2308. For this one right here, DJT Holdings LLC, that's you. Let's see what you is providing us down here. Right? We're just trying to glean some information about his tax return and see what we can learn. You, what, $47? That can't be right. Because look over here. He has negative $60 million of ordinary income, business, or loss. All right, you see what I'm looking at? I'm looking right here at the EIN, DJT Holdings LLC for 2020, 27416 2308. Oh, I was looking at the wrong one. Oh, U, 27416 2308. U. I was looking at T, I think. Let's look at U. Hopefully that's a lot better. It makes more sense logically. No. $47. This does not make sense to me right now. Unless the U's down here also relate to I don't even see any U's over here, which is kind of wild. I know this stream is getting a little bit long right now, and I'm kind of jumping around. So you know what I think what I'm going to do? I'm going to end this right here, and then I'm going to attempt to make heads and tails of this before jumping on again next time. All right.